We got a good one today. I'm with my co-host, Steve. My name is Sal. And with us, the man that was just a part of the biggest blind side of season 2. Let's give it up for Mike.
Thank you, gents. It hurt to watch it back, but it's all good.
Mike, I mean, we got sardines, we got hot sauce. I mean, you don't even give a shit about either of it. Talk to me about it. I mean, tell me about this challenge. I mean, do we have you ever had a sardine before this game?
I'm sure I have. I mean, I remember growing up when we went to pizza night at my grandparents' house. My uncle always got a pizza with anchovies, and I've tried that before. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I love hot food. I love hot sauce, so I just thought of it as some chicken or some tuna fish, as I mentioned, and just went into it. Just didn't think about anything else and try to put it down as fast as possible. I was trying to get on to move ahead as much as I could.
Yeah, it was pretty gross for a lot of people. I mean, we see Rosie just like trying not to blow chunks at the end. But yeah, I mean, you really didn't have a problem with it all. Did you think you might have going into it, or were you just like, no matter what, whatever they put in front of us, I gotta get down?
Yeah, I thought about it for a little bit, but you got to just put a little like psycho in your head. You're like, just don't think about anything and just get it down as quick as possible. Just if you need to scream out loud after you put it down, then do it. But honestly, I didn't really mind it after I did it. Obviously, a lot of other people did, but yeah, I was just trying to see how I could proceed through the challenges as far as I could. Now, in the second part with the egg on the spoon, it was hard because there were 6 of us and only 3 balance beams. So whoever gets the 3 balance beams first moves on, unless you drop the egg. But so once I was coming back and I was on the balance beam, all the balance beams were already taken. So I'm just trying to trail someone and then hope that I can run in front of them. Now my egg dropped when I was going back under the rope, but that was, in my mind, the only possibility I had to move on to the final stage of the challenge.
Yeah, you have to make a move to overtake someone because, like you said, you're just stuck behind somebody. You kind of hope that you're on the one beam that's faster than the other 2, maybe, so you can keep up. But yeah, it was as soon as you dropped the egg, I like reached over and hit Becca on the arm. I was like, yeah, oh, he dropped the egg. I forgot about that.
Bro, it was crazy too because like you downed this sardine, and in my head, I'm like, anything with hot sauce, bro, you could probably just channel it and get it down. I'm like, yo, he already finished it. I'm like, all right, I think we can get him through the second one, and then like anything outside of throwing a shoulder, like you're beat, just because, like you said, the balance beam. So like that's tough. That's a cool challenge though. We haven't seen that yet. A 3-part challenge. It kind of reminded me of season 1's, like how about like the final 5, how it had like the lanes. He's starting to, Chris is getting a little creative, so I'm liking the 3-part challenge there.
Yeah, it was fun. Actually, when we were going into the egg challenge, I was trying to blow on my spoon to make it fog up, like try anything possible to make the egg stick. Now that didn't work out. I remember asking Chris, I'm like, can I hold the spoon up to the very top? He's like, no, you got to hold it back. So I'm like, just trying to find any way that I can go as fast as possible without dropping that egg.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Anyway, you can differentiate yourself.
Now, one of your alliance members, well, I'm going to put it in quotes after this episode, wins immunity with Chris winning the immunity. Did that at the time make you feel a little bit safer? Because he's been acting a little skittish the last couple episodes.
I thought I was going to get votes before this episode, so that's why I felt safer when I didn't. Now we all know what happens. I told the camera that people were feeling too comfortable. Meanwhile, I was the one being comfortable and blindsided. So kind of just foreshadowed ahead for myself. But now after Chris won the advantage in the auction, I tried asking him what it was, and he was kind of just blowing it off. Hey, I haven't checked it yet. I'll let you know later. And then I hear from Heather that he has an extra vote. I'm like, why is Heather finding out this before I am? I thought I was going into this game playing with you. So no hard feelings, obviously, out of the game. But in the game, I'm like, he's acting sketchy. Steve comes up to me. Steve's saying that he heard from Chris that I was saying his name out loud. I'm like, I never said that at all. And yeah, I had bad feelings about it. I think I mentioned in this episode too, if he didn't win immunity this time, I would have even thought of throwing his name out there just because I thought he was already turning on us once the merge happened. And I'll tell you, I already got screwed by him before in another online Survivor series. So that's how I ended up
on here. Can you elaborate on that? Because I saw that a couple episodes ago, and I texted Steve. I was like, "Yo, is this foreshadowing something? What happened with this previous screwage?"
Yeah, so there was an online Instagram Survivor that we participated in, and Steve Falchino was the one that ran it. He was the host. Now I played with both of the Chris's, Chris the host and Chris the castaway, and Chris Algerin. I thought we were playing together the whole time. Now I had never met him in person yet. We became friends after the online Survivor, but he blindsided me in that as well. So I'm like, if he can do it once, he could do it again. Now I thought since we knew each other going into Delco Survivor, and me, him, and Steve game plan before before season 2 started, I was like, okay, I can maybe trust him a little bit. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I can't. I had to. Exactly. I had to like take a step back at some point just in case, and I started to get that feeling again, and it ended up happening.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to lean on every little advantage you can get. And you mentioned knowing Chris and Steve outside of the game. We did hear that you guys had some like secret signals for going into challenges in case someone was in danger. Where were the signals this episode? Because we needed them.
Yeah, they didn't end up needing to be played or played out. So I think that's why it was cut. But in the beginning of the game, we all wore hats in the game. Me, Steve, and Chris all wore hats. And we were like, well, all three of us aren't going to be on the same tribe. Chris and Steve are better of the friends outside of the game. So we were thinking, okay, Steve and Chris are going to be split up on either tribe. We were just trying to figure out where I'm going to be, either with Steve or with Chris. So we're saying if we're in danger, for instance, if Chris was in danger because he's on the other tribe, if he puts his hat backwards coming into the next immunity challenge, that means that he is in trouble. So Chris actually did have his hat backwards going into the second immunity challenge. And Steve and I looked at each other. We're like, do we throw this challenge? Do we feel comfortable enough throwing this challenge
on the second challenge?
Yeah, we were like, it might be too early. We don't know if we have the numbers or feel comfortable enough with that yet. So we never ended up needing or having to do it. And it worked out. We all made the merge. But I talked to Chris after the game. He's like, no, I just wore the hat backwards because I felt like it. I'm like, all right, well, we thought you were in trouble the whole time.
Dude,
so
the signal.
It didn't end up working out. Yeah.
Because if you throw that one, it's like, it's early in the game where the votes are mostly who's the weakest link. So if you and Steve throw it, you're the weak link. Like one of you is going home.
So you know what, too? This just dawned on me. Like if everyone's saying, I'm reading some comments like, the pre-existing friendships are bogus, yada yada. Bro, this is a two-edged sword. I mean, you guys are talking about the game, and Chris is just flipping his hat backwards, and now you're internalizing this a lot more than everybody else. I think it's harder to keep a cover. And like, you had said Steve ran that Cyber Survivor, and I actually played in one of them as well with Chris.
Nice.
And we had a little disagreement as well, and that kind of sits with you. You're kind of like, is he going to do this to me again? Is he not? So you're going through these gyrations, and nobody knows the better except for you and Steve and Chris. Like, I think it's harder. What do you think, Steve? Do you going in with people you know?
Yeah, I do think it can be hard. I mean, we're even seeing with C4 now, like there was some friction in that episode where Jordan's telling Sense like, yo, dog, like you're taking all the easy votes. This is screwing my, you know what, Sal, I'm going to drop this one for you. This is with my game. So why don't you vote one of your people out, you know?
Yeah. No, I agree. And with with Steve, we tried to play it off as we didn't know each other at all, and Steve would go off with a few people we wouldn't want to look to be together as much. I remember one time, I forget exactly what dropped, but I think he mentioned something about our town and I agreeing with it, and something came out where I thought people were going to catch on to us knowing each other, but I don't think anyone really thought into it as much. But yeah, it's a little difficult to keep a cover, and and to your point, Sal, about working together, it's a little difficult. And Chris already kind of screwing me in another game that I played with him before. I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to have it happen again. So I think 2 episodes ago, you saw that I was saying, like, if he doesn't win the next immunity, we might have to throw his name out there just so it doesn't happen to me again. Because I don't want to be on the wrong side 2 times in a row. But hey, that's the way it played out.
That's what it is.
They fooled me twice, and they're both Shane's on me, I guess.
So in that episode, you suggested to Chris that he use his double vote to kind of like orchestrate a better split vote, just in case Buddy plays an idol. When Chris inevitably shoots that down, like, do you start sweating? Like, are you worried that, maybe it's you, maybe it's Steve? Like, did you have any inkling of who it might be?
I mean, the worst thing to be in Survivor is comfortable. Like, you just never want to feel comfortable. Now, I was feeling comfortable enough, but it still dawned on me like it could be me. And at that point, I just thought that I completely lost Chris in an alliance, a secret alliance that we had once he shut that down. But I thought it was a smart move to go after Buddy. I mean, he has, before this episode, both immunity wins, right? He has a steal a vote. He has a hidden immunity idol. At the auction, he also bought an advantage to one of the immunities that he won. So we were all talking, once Buddy loses a challenge, let's go after him. He's the biggest threat. He's the strongest competitor. And I thought it made the most sense. Now, I don't think all of us knew all the advantage he had at the time, but in my mind, it seemed like, okay, let's just throw him all on Buddy. If he does have an idol, which we thought he did, and he does end up having, he can throw a name on someone. So we use Chris's 2 votes to disregard like his vote. So I don't know if it works out as much because of the steal a vote advantage, but I thought we were all on board to at least split the votes enough that even if he did play advantages and an idol, we could still get him out.
I mean, if you guys are all rocking together, I mean, that makes nothing but sense. This dude's just dominating the game on the physical side of the ball. Let's get his ass out. I mean, Steve, are we not? If at that point, Steve, Mike has to know, like, all right, Chris ain't with me, bro. Like, if this is a clear-cut move.
Yeah, it's funny. Like, even now that we're talking, I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, all right, so if I knew that Buddy had to steal a vote, like, would having 2 people be enough? And it's like, well, it's been.
I believe we did know he had to steal a vote too, just because Jazzy told Steve about the clue under the stump, and after that, I believe we did know, or all knew at the time. And also thought that he may have had an idol, but there was a lot of numbers going on, like, how can we make this work? And it seemed like we did have enough on our side if it just were Buddy and Heather, who were on the wrong side of the vote from the last tribal. But yeah, it just didn't work out.
It sure did.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole episode, it's edited to where I'm thinking Heather's chalked. I'm thinking somebody kind of gives Buddy the heads up, or he gets paranoid enough to catch like the signs. He rips the idol.
Probably Jordan running his mouth.
Probably Jordan. I mean, dude, he's got a tattoo on his chest. I got an idol. Buddy's got an idol. Dude's singing like church flat out. But yeah, I think Heather's done. I'm like, she's on the other side of the vote. It's clearly them 2 versus everybody else at this point. And then you see them kumbaya. You get a little Heather, you get Buddy, I think you get Rosie and somebody else in there. And I'm like, uh-oh. I don't know what's about to happen, but it's something. Oh, wait, hold on. Bro, did you ever know that Buddy was trying to steal your vote originally and then stole Steve's vote?
No, I think it's a good move on his end, though, because him stealing Steve's vote, even I said it when I voted. I'm like, oh, you're going after Steve. So it's now watching a lot of Survivor since this season was filmed. It makes a lot of sense. But at the time, I'm like, oh, he's stealing Steve's vote. So he's trying to go after Steve. And I remember Steve looking over to me and like, I don't know what's going on. And I was like, oh, we're good. We have enough votes on Buddy that you're not going home. Thinking that he and maybe Heather are going to throw votes at him. I had no idea it was coming towards me. And going into that tribal, what's that?
He pulled the old 1-2 switcheroo on you.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Great play. I mean, great play. Because I think what he said was he thought if he stole Steve's vote, then if I had an idol, I would have played it for Steve and not myself. So I think that's the thinking behind it, but I don't know. And yeah, I just remember I was the last confessional before we went to tribal, and I'm walking back while everyone's getting into the cars. And then I think I mentioned or asked a few people, I'm like, yo, the vote's still the same, right? And they're all like, yeah. And they all flipped.
Being the last confessional before you leave for tribal, we've heard this tale before where it's maybe give us an extra like 5 minutes just to run around and make sure things are going. We need a little buffer when we get to camp and before we leave camp, where we can figure some shit out, and then we'll go talk to the cameras.
Yeah, and it's stressful because you're going from a challenge to immediately talking to other people about who we're voting off. The 25 minutes or however long you have in between, it's chaotic, and it doesn't seem like there's enough time to figure everything out. But yeah, I also heard that, and I don't know if this is true. I don't know how much I've looked into this, but in actual Survivor, I heard there's a curse for whenever you win a margarita at a challenge or at a reward. So after I got that margarita and then recently went home right after, I'm like, I don't know, maybe the curse lives on into Delco Survivor.
Is this true? You rip a marg and then you're out the door?
That's what I've heard. I don't know how many people have gone home after that, but
it's a non-zero amount.
I've heard it before.
It is a non-zero amount.
Margaritas, you are chalk.
Oh yes, yeah.
I was hyped to get that after that long of a day.
Yeah, so
get some relaxation.
Anybody who's going to be on season 4, no bucket hats. If there's an auction, no margaritas. Steer clear of that. Just focus on the game. Now, this was the first major blindside, which honestly, I think if you're going to go, getting blindsided is the way to go. It feels like you get outplayed at that point, right? Which is, it's okay. But were you surprised that it was a unanimous vote? Because I'm pretty sure it was.
I was. I thought Sense and Rosie were going to be on my side. Now, I mentioned at the end that I was catching on to Sense being or knowing Jordan and Danny, but I didn't know that Rosie had any affiliation with them. So after I got off, now we got our phones back to say, oh, we like text our families we're in for the night at the or after we merged. But I wasn't going to look up anyone during the game. I didn't want to like cheat like that. But I had a feeling that there was people that knew each other. Now, right after I got voted off, I'm like, all right, who knows who? Let's look up. And I was like, Danny knows, or Danny's married to Sense, and Rosie's engaged to Jordan. I was like mind blown there was 4 of them, because Jordan and
Jordan and Rosie were Danny just dating at the time.
Yeah.
For one more week.
Right. And yeah, the effort and what Becca brought up, like it was in the back of people's minds, but yeah, I had no idea that Rosie was in with them. Now, even knowing Sense was from Ephrata area, I still thought he was going to vote along our side. But yeah, I was surprised that Sense and Rosie voted. It all makes sense now, right? Knowing all the connections, but at the time I thought they would have been on board with it. I had a 1% chance feeling that Chris might have been on board, but wasn't surprised. And then wasn't sure if Steve was part of the blind side or not at the time. And yeah, nonetheless, I didn't think it was going to be a unanimous vote.
Unanimous is kind of wild.
It is. But you should have listened to Becca. It's like the tale of my whole life, Should have listened to Becca.
Listen to Becca. Why? What'd you say? Oh,
because she brought up Ephrata, and then everyone just kind of like, whatever, not a big deal.
Now, this brings me to another question. You going in knowing other people, did you ever think to yourself, like, man, other people might know other people? Or do you just like, now we're the only trio here?
No, I didn't think there was one person that didn't know someone. I thought that there had to have been people that knew each other. I was just trying to put the pieces together beforehand. Now, I remember after one of our tribals, after Becca was voted off, we were about to go back to camp. And Mitch was like filming Sense, and he wasn't saying anything. And we thought he was just out of it from just being a long day. But we didn't pick up the fact like that Becca was saying about the Ephrata and everything like that. We're like, Sense, you're all good? He's like, yeah, I just hate that Becca's saying that I'm from Ephrata and I know other people from there. We're like, oh, no, don't worry about it. Now, we were also thinking about that. We didn't put it to that much thought, but I just remember that coming up as one of the initial pieces into putting the final puzzle together.
Because it's someone that like you're aligned with, so you almost don't want to believe that like something bad could possibly come from being there. But I will say, we see a lot of comments that like it's bullshit that there's like all these people that know each other going into it. But when you like really blow it out, pause. There is sorry, Sal. There are multiple groups that know each other, so I think the playing field is pretty level as far as people coming in, not spilling the beans about people they know. So
and we've seen it. No, I agree. It's definitely a different dynamic. This versus actual Survivor, unless it's a returnee season where people are going in game planning together, but it does even the playing field out. And you've seen it already. I mean, Chris blindsided me. I threw his name out after I heard about that. I mean, Ashley, you've seen. So going in, there was alliances, but there was also, they weren't all 100% solidified too. So it definitely evened it out.
And the viewer, I'm loving it. I'm loving this shit. And I had no idea you and Chris and Steve knew each other. No idea about the Coles Alliance. No idea about C4 even really. I mean, until I watched it, like I don't like some of these people I never met.
It felt like the Cocos Alliance didn't know about the Cocos Alliance. They were at each other's out the gate.
Oh my God. I'm going to pivot here slightly. Chris Jeff, he talks about boys versus girls, tale to the end of the time, right? Boys versus girls. You say this a couple episodes ago. Steve pointed out to me that you're like, let's just do a boys versus girls thing. Did he watch that back at camp and be like, oh, I'm gonna point that out, or do you think he's like just trying to pull some strings and get some drama out of Rosie?
Stealing your idea, dude.
And Heather.
I mean, I mentioned it because we had the advantage to Jordan. Now, I would have been fine keeping more women than men, but I was just trying to get this other tribe on board, aka Jordan, on our side by any means possible. So once I saw, okay, we have more guys than girls, because we were technically outnumbered, I believe, our tribe versus theirs. So once I brought that up, I'm just trying to feed another advantage that we have over something else just by any way possible. So would have been fine not having that, but that just came to mind just to try to see if I could swing them to at least come on my side so I could have another number.
Yeah, I mean, any way to get the numbers. I think you made the right move trying to just pull strings for Jordan. Now, little did you know, Jordan was coming to your side anyway because of C4. Yeah. So it worked out. Now, after your torch,
not for me.
Well, yeah, for a couple episodes.
Yeah, right.
Now, after your torch gets snuffed, you completely blow up Chris and Steve's game, if we're being honest.
Oh.
What made you decide to drop that nuclear bomb after the torch goes out?
It was just a lot going through me. I'm like, like I said, I felt bad doing it against Steve. I thought maybe he would have been on board with them, and that's why I threw it out. But after a couple of seconds, I'm like, I don't think he was actually out to get me. It was more so just going after Chris for blindsiding me. And I mean, I'm still part of the show, even though I'm voted out. So why not try to stir it up and make some good TV out of it?
Bro, I'm texting Steve because like I'd never seen this. I have no idea what's happening. I'm like, oh my god, there's Chris geeking. Like he's like geeking because he just like flipped on you. Like, and then he goes, yeah, well, me, Chris and Steve all know each other. I'm like, oh shit. Like that. This going back to tribal now. It's gonna be like, so you know, Steven and Mike, huh?
Yeah,
like,
getting back to camp's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah, you just spice that up. And if you're C4, you're like, oh well. Target's off my back right now. So I think the pure rage of Darth Vader out of you, I loved it. I loved it. Now, you know, you get a little remorse, go like, damn, that's my boys, and I just kind of draw it. But in the moment, you're like, yo, you just voted me out. You deserve at least a quick smack on the way out. Like, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what they have to say in their confessionals, or how they're gonna work it out for the next tribal or the next episode.
Now, I will say, Chris gave Sal and I a heads up that the end of this episode was going to be spicy. So we had Sal record his reaction to the end of Tribal. And I'm going to throw that up in the video right now.
All right. I'll read the votes. First vote, Buddy. Mike. 1 vote, Buddy. 1 vote, Mike. Mike. That's 2 votes, Mike. 1 vote, Buddy. Mike. That's 3 votes, Mike. 1 vote, Buddy. Mike. That's 4 votes, Mike. 1 vote, Buddy. 10th person voted as Survivor Chester Creek and 3rd member of our jury, Mike. Mike, you need to bring me your torch?
Well played, well played. I knew Chris and Steve going in this game, by the way.
Oh!
Okay.
Mike, the tribe's spoken.
Watch out for that second vote from Chris.
Oh! I think Mike just said it all. You guys can grab your torches and head back to camp.
Fuck my life again.
So, Mr. Mike, we have a question from the Discord from your buddy, Buddy. He says, when I stole Steve's vote, did you think it was Steve the one going home?
I did, yeah. You could see at the end where I say to the camera, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're going after Steve. Let's see how it plays out. I did not think it was coming towards me. After my first vote got pulled out and it said Buddy, I was like, well, that's my handwriting. And then it goes Mike, and I'm like, okay, if there's another Buddy, then we're good. And then it's Mike. I'm like, all right, let me just go get my torch at this point.
Cooked. He was cooked.
Damn.
Hey, I'll take it, though. I was going after Buddy, and he gets me out. Well played.
Well,
hey, I love that attitude. And hey, you needed an advantage to take you out, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was a power move by Buddy. Like he had to pull out something a little extra. It wasn't just we've got the numbers to get him. Like,
Steve, real quick, I just thought of this. Now, if you're everybody else in the game actively right now, and you watch Buddy just actively chirp to steal Steve's vote and yada yada yada. Are we thinking right now like we really have to get Buddy out? He's got comp win advantage. The jury's getting all jazzed up. No pun intended for Jazzy in on the jury. Like, do we got to get? Is Buddy like public enemy number 1 right now?
I feel like he has to be. I mean, super nice guy, a super nice guy, but like comp beast and all the turtles follow Buddy.
If I thought that there was going to be more votes on, well, at the time I was thinking Steve, or if I picked up that it was going to be on me, I do wish I stopped Chris and said, hey, should I play this idol now or after the votes? And then maybe try to stir something. But that's just one thing I always wish I did if I could go back in time.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Just to make it a live tribal.
Dude, if that tribal got live there, dude, we could have seen some, like, I mean, there were fireworks, but we could have seen some fireworks, dude.
Because after this, there's no easy votes. Like now, like, and when I say easy votes, they're all hard, but like, now the lines, you have to draw a line in the sand. You do that, I mean, it's chaos.
Yeah, and just another thing that came to mind when I brought up have Chris throw his 2 votes on Buddy, and then he mentioned, well, then it's going to be a split. That's also another reason why I knew he was kind of off board with it, because even if it was a split vote, we would have thought we had maybe numbers to go Buddy anyway, and now he doesn't have a vote to go against anyone. But I don't know. There's just a lot of things coming to mind now that bring me back to the game, where there's certain things that maybe could have been said or done, and it may not have worked out. But yeah, you're always thinking about what else could have gone down to not come down out with this situation.
That's what ifs are crazy, now, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sal and I are I love a spreadsheet, but I will get in Discord with Sal and we will fire up a spreadsheet and we'll be like, all right, what if this happened? How would have the rest of the game transpired? So we spiraled, for, I don't want to say every episode, but a lot of episodes.
That last one we did the other day was like 45 minutes though, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we're cooking some ideas.
If Jordan doesn't tell anyone about the idol and he plays it on somebody, this is what we were talking about. Because Jordan, you're singing, and you're right now you're an American Idol. They're loving you. So
that's the beauty of this game and why I love Survivor so much, is one small thing can change the trajectory. I think I got that of the game, and everything's live, so there's only one outcome, but it's fun to look back and be like, there could be so many different stories. Like if you're a writer, you could make so many different endings to this game, but there's only one. So that's why it's so fun to think about, okay, what if this happened or that, but there's only one final outcome.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking about writers, we have started a new segment, not new this week, but new recently, called Chris's Final Tribal, and he's got a few questions for you, so let's hear from Chris. All right, Chris's first question: did you truly have any indication you were gone at that tribal?
I had no indication.
It's so much worse.
Wait, what do you mean? Like
you just got totally blindsided.
You got cooked, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it was embarrassing. I don't know. I got to deal with it, but I had no idea. Everyone else knew, but not me. No, I had no idea that was coming out.
Yeah, I feel like a buddy really kind of like the misdirection. Because if he would have stole your vote, like he said earlier, you at least would have known something was up, and then maybe you go, I know Steve and Chris, and then you just like start stirring the pot while you're all sitting on the logs, But,
yeah, I'm surprised that I guess they started to realize that Steve and I were working together, because I don't think that was that known at the time. Now, they knew that we were in the same tribe the whole time, but I didn't realize, and maybe they didn't, I don't know, but I didn't realize me and Steve seemed that close together. I thought, from what I've seen, Rosie and Steve were the closest, but
yeah.
Without a doubt.
I mean, maybe during that little kumbaya with Heather, Buddy, and Chris, maybe he took a little page out of Jordan's book and sang a little song.
Sang a little hymn, if you will. Now, one more thing to say. Steve is cool as a cucumber with a stolen vote. He's sitting there like, is he in cahoots with this? Like,
that's what I wasn't too sure of, and what made me drop both names at the end. I guess I wasn't too sure. Then I thought about it, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe he had my back, but he couldn't do anything about it. But I don't know. It seemed like people could have told him, like, hey, I don't know what's going on. It might be Mike, and him saying you're fine, and then they told him that right when they got to tribal that he couldn't really do anything about it. But those are just some thoughts I had as to what went down.
We may never know. Chris does have another question, so let's hear from Chris once again. Chris's second question: who were you more loyal to in your end game plans, the turkeys or Steve and Chris?
It's a great question.
That's why I paid.
If it was better for my, if it was better for my game, I would have went with other people when I felt it would be right. Now, I didn't think it'd be right to, if I had two Secret Alliance members still in the game, there were still not enough numbers, I thought, to turn just yet. But if I were to made it further, I could have seen myself blindsiding them or going against them. So I just didn't think it was the right time to do that. I thought there was a lot more people we could have gotten out before we started going against each other. But I would have been fine not going to the end with them, because they were, especially Steve, he was playing a great game. And if he made it to the end, I'm sure he would have gotten a lot of the votes. So I don't think there's a definitive answer as to who I would have went with. I think it all would have depended on how the rest of the game played out, but I could have seen myself going a different route when it came time, if needed, against them.
I mean, you got to keep all options on the table, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Great answer. I mean, that's a gamer answer out of you. That's unbelievable.
All right. We've got one last question from Chris, so roll the tape. Chris wants to know, what was one regret you have from your game? Tough.
We will accept the top three.
I think, Sal, you mentioned it the other day, little jury management with Jazzy. Told her that she's going home, and I still voted against not having her go home. But I think I was trying to do a little bit of jury management. So that could have been a downfall, because I did say to Buddy, hey, like, you're great at challenges, but you do have an idol. Like, that was a mistake to say. I think he was still coming after me. I don't know if me saying that or not would have been there would have been a difference in me going home. I think jury management could be up there. I know Rosie mentioned I was asking a lot of the right questions. So maybe if I wanted to play, and I try to keep the down low in the beginning, just because season one, sorry, what was her name that went home first? She seemed like she was trying to play way too fast. And I didn't want to go home. Yeah, I didn't want to go home quick. I wanted to at least make the merge. And since I had Steve on my side, we could kind of divide and conquer. And then also just keeping up in challenges. It's hard to say that too. Like, I try to win as many challenges as possible. Now, I never got individual immunity, but I thought we had a good group of people to win the when we were on tribes to win. I don't know. I know Heather mentioned, like, there was already puzzles. There's going to be more physical challenges that come up. Let's get Mike out now. So I don't know if me looking like I tried too hard ends up biting you in the behind. Like, I know it happens to a lot of people in the actual show Survivor.
Big compliment.
There's a lot of things that, yeah, I take it. Yeah. it's hard to say one. And I'm just thinking about different things. Like there could have been a lot of things I could have done differently to try to stay in for a longer time.
Yeah. Now, I think Chris might be trying to dig out of you. Do you regret blowing up Chris and Steve's game as you walked out? Or you're
He
like,
didn't even remotely mention that.
I would have done that a million times over.
No, I don't regret that.
All right.
No, I mean, I was there to play. Like, relationships outside the game, like with me, Chris and Steve, like Chris and Steve in the show is different than me, Chris and Steve. Like, I don't have any hard feelings for them outside the show, like with Chris blindsided me. And I hope neither of them do either. I don't think they did, but I don't regret that. I mean, I was already out at that time, but I was just trying to have an impact on the game as long as I could, because I didn't want to go home yet. If I could do something that would make for better TV or do anything like that, I wanted to do that even when I was still there.
I mean, that's gold. So
I love that. Yeah, I love that. Hey, they voted you out.
Yeah, Chris, come on. What the hell, man? No, it's all good.
I do want to say I appreciate, like, outside of the game, all good, but in the game, like, you're locked in outside the game. Like, I love that. That's a good gameplay. Like, that's lit. So
I played hockey for 25 years, and I was friends with so many of these guys on other teams, and it was as soon as we walk through that door and we're on the rink, it's you. But as soon as we're out, like, I'll give you a hug, like, whatever, shirt off my back, I don't care.
Oh yeah, I played rugby in college, and when you stepped on the field, anything like mind games can help with the actual physical game. So there were things that people say to me, I'd say to them, and then if you know anything about rugby, you have a social after the game, win or lose, and if you're the home team, invite them to the bar. You pay for all their drinks, and you just become boys afterward. Like, so that's on the field. It's a lot different than outside.
Love it. So, kind of going back in time a little bit here, because I made this note earlier in the season. You were the first person from the original Pele tribe to suggest stirring the pot and potentially going after one of your own members. But your allies at the time shot it down. Do you think you should have pushed harder, or did it all just kind of work itself out when Connor took the heat for his own move?
At that time, no one knew that Steve and I were working together. So even though Connor was still part of our original tribe and Becca wasn't, once he started throwing Steve's name out, I had to change it to go after Connor. Even though Connor thought I was working with him, and I was at the time until he threw my number one's name out, I had to change it to Connor. It was the same thing with Kerry's vote. I think they wanted to go Bree at the time, but I just remember when Steve went off for a second, Kerry threw Steve's name out, like, oh, he's playing hard, he knows this game, a lot of that, and I was picking up on that. I'm like, all right, well, we need Kerry to go because we don't want to lose either of us. So it kind of went back to that, like with Kerry's vote, for instance, I would have been fine if we went for Bree, I guess, at the time. Like it wasn't like, no, we have to go Bree or we have to go Kerry. But once she was saying Steve's name, I thought, okay, let me try to pick up on anything that Kerry's doing. So I'll try to throw or like feed some information to people. Like, okay, Kerry said she wanted to sit out. Kerry says she knows a lot about this game.
Kerry's wearing a bucket hat.
Challenge. Yeah, she's wearing the bucket hat. Yeah, so
pissed in the woods.
So that was just whenever an original member was going after Steve at the time, I was trying to sway it on whoever threw his name out first. So going back to Connor, I said, okay, well, Becca's not part of her tribe, but she might have an idol. Like, we don't think any of us have an idol right now in our original. If Becca's the only one that's not from our original tribe over here, and we're going to a tribal council, and then she she's gonna have to play her idol, right? Because she's thinking she's gonna go home. So let's just think she does have an idol and go after someone that's throwing a lot of other people's names out, which at the time was Connor. So would have liked to work with Connor at the time, but yeah, like I was saying, if anyone was throwing my number one's name out, I had to try to put it back on them.
Got that shit down.
We're gonna have to bust out that meme again from Kyle and Paul's episode with the soldier blocking all the all the shots for somebody. You're taking tons of bullets for Steve there.
Yeah, I mean, his name was thrown out a lot, and that's why I thought, even though he was my number one and I was trying to save him for a lot of the times, that's why I thought he was still kind of like a cover for me as well. Like, I didn't think a lot of people knew that me and him were working together, but I thought he was just a bigger threat than I was or looked to be at the time. Now, he also had a lot of relationships, so that helped too, but that's another reason why I was surprised that the votes were thrown on me rather than Steve.
Yeah, you never want to be the biggest fish in that pond. I mean, look at Buddy. Like, you want to keep that person in there just long enough to advance your game.
Right. And yeah, we were trying to get Buddy out, but then who becomes the bigger threat? I thought Buddy looked like the obvious threat at the time, but Steve was the other biggest threat. So I'm not saying that I was trying to hide behind Steve or anything. I just thought the Buddy move would have been good at the time, and I would have thought people would have tried to go after Steve because they've already thrown his name out before.
Yeah, I mean, I think
rather than me.
I think that's completely reasonable. All right.
Switching gears here, Mr. Mike. I think we're all but got it out of Chris. All Stars season 5 or 4. He calls your phone and says, "Hey, Mr. Mike, I got one spot. Would you play?"
You'll see me there in 30 minutes.
30 mins.
It'll be locked and loaded. All right. All
I
right.
hope I get called. We'll see if I get the call. I'm praying I do. I just applied to the actual Survivor season, and I've been waiting to hear for a call back. I woke up at 2 a.m. this morning from a call that I didn't recognize. Immediately woke up thinking it might have been them. So I'm ready to go whenever. Now, that's really hard to get on. I know a lot of people that have gotten on the show have to apply multiple times, but I want to play the actual show. So if there's any chance of me playing another type of Survivor, like the Delco Survivor All-Stars, I'm 100% in.
Wow. Chris, he's watching right now. Question. Here's another question. Follow-up question. Let's say Steve is in. Let's say Chris is in. Would you work with them or gun for them?
Whew.
Let's say they're on different tribes and then you guys make it to merge.
I mean, if it happens, I can't be giving any spoilers, right?
Oh, I just had one in the chamber about to put you on blast for showing your cards, but he covered it up. Oh man,
he's a gamer.
Anyone that is on the All-Stars, they're on there for a reason. They're going to be watching previous seasons. All I'll say is my game's out there. I'm willing to do anything it takes to get on that season, but everyone knows what my game was the first time around. And another big thing about Survivor's adapting. So I'll leave it as that.
Steve, that's a great answer, Steve.
Oh, Chris, that could be an interesting card to pull there. Now we've also had a lot of players come back and work on the crew. Is that something? I know we've filmed season 3 already. Not sure if you were involved with that, but does being on the crew interest you at all, or are you just like, get me on the show? That's all I really want to do. Some people are just getting. Connor said he's like, just put me on the show.
Connor was a great one.
Yeah, I've heard being on the show and being on the crew are both extremely fun. And I think some people like both. Some people like more of one than the other. I'm more so on put me on the show. Now, I wasn't on the season 3 crew. I forget what I had that weekend. I was maybe away, but I would have been there if possible. If there's any part of me being a part of the show in any way, I would love to be a part of it. But yeah, in the future, I would love to if I have the time or if I'm free that weekend to even be part of the crew. But yeah, I lean way more on the side of being on the show.
Gamer.
We like that. I hear way too many people saying, "Ah, no, I want to do the crew. I want to do the crew." Get on the fucking show, man. Like, that's where the fun is.
Yo, I was hoping you were on the crew for 3 so we can get a little insight, but that's all right. That's all right, Mr. Mike.
I do want to go back just one episode for Ashley's elimination episode. We did hear you at one point say to the camera that you thought Danny kind of has a tell for when she's lying about stuff, when she's kind of like looking down in a way, which I've noticed happens quite a few times during this program. When did you pick up on the tell?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was just directed at Danny for lying because she's looking away. I just know some people in any day of life, whether it's in this game or not, they do certain, and I'm not like an expert on this by all means. But,
yeah, you like a poker master?
Yeah, I've watched Law and Order.
Yeah. Well, my brother and I are huge fans of the show, and he can dissect it, and he tells me a lot about that. So one thing is like if for instance, when Jeff asked, does anyone have an idol? Like people's immediate reaction is to look at the person that they're about to vote out to see if they pull out an idol. So you want to look at other people and be like, are they looking at me? If so, I should play this idol because it's just like certain things that people do. So when I notice that like maybe you're touching your arm, you're looking down, looking away, not in the eyes, that can be telling, okay, they actually telling the truth. There's just like subtle things that people can do when talking about that. So yeah, that's something that came up when in that particular conversation between me and Danny, but I was trying to look for that between anyone when I was talking to them. Now they played it off, right? Because I got blindsided, but I was trying to look for any indicators I could.
That's the high level thinking that we need. I'm putting that in my notes if I ever am blessed to be on the program.
Yo, yeah, and you know I just thought because you know my life revolves around food. Did that thought cross your mind, or are you like, dude, I'm so hungry, like they just took Steve's vote, he's gone? Like, are you thinking like that? Are you thinking like no one's looking at me, I'm good?
I mean, yeah, there was in the back of my mind that it could have been me. I just didn't think it was. I thought for some reason, I thought more so the tribal before because I heard a little bit about my name being thrown around. I thought it may have been there. But once I got through that and the target was on Steve, like throwing votes, I was like, okay, I should be good for now. But it's stressful out there. Like don't get me wrong, the actual Survivor, it's probably so hard to play. Like, it's only 26 days now, but even that, 26 days of nonstop playing, like, you couldn't, even when you're sleeping, the game's still going on. Like, I will say that the challenges are more spaced out and the vote outs are more spaced out, at least to start on the actual Survivor. Whereas this, yeah, it's only 2 days, but you're going immunity challenge or a challenge and then straight to a vote off and then straight back and you're just out of it. Like it plays with your mind, even though it was only for 42 hours, like all of that in the 42 hours, it does something to you. It definitely does.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot. You're going nonstop. Like you said, in the actual show Survivor, people are just hanging out, you know, they're trying to find some food, poking around the island for idols and whatnot. This, it's like, all right, you've got 30 minutes of camp. Strategize.
Yeah. Nonstop. You got butterflies for the challenge. You got butterflies for strategizing. You got butterflies for voting someone off. Like your adrenaline is just going the whole time that it's just, you just feel like nothing. At a certain point, you're just drained from all this adrenaline boosts throughout the whole entire time.
Hey,
and your mind's just going all over the place too, like physical, mental, all of that.
It's a great game to be honest. And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that, Chris has put it together so that, what just started as, all right, friends, I want to do something fun on a weekend, has become like this big thing where you can get so many people involved to experience it. Cause like you said, it's also really hard to get on the real show if it's something you want to do. So
yeah, it's a blast. Yeah. I'm always like thinking of Survivor and even like Survivor Delco. So it was so fun. Playing on that, just I kind of felt like I was actually on the real Survivor. Like I was the Joker. What's his name? Heath Ledger. Just like dialed in, thinking you're the Joker. Like I thought I was out there. Like cameras, don't look at the cameras, right? Don't look at the cameras. Don't talk when people are not filming you. You want to get it on camera, right? You don't want to do something crazy off camera, right? So I'm just method acting, feeling like I'm actually out there for those 42 hours, and it was so fun.
That's awesome, dude.
that's perfect.
And you're such a big Survivor head. You made the merge. You sleep in the tent all night. You wake up. Everyone's kind of like moping around, but a party is like, oh, yo, we're still in it. Like I'm doing this thing. Like
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, I at least made it to the merge. Wanted to go further, but hey, you're not the first person voted out. You make the merge, not the first member of the jury. So there's a few accomplishments in there. Didn't get the end goal, but there's definitely some things I was able to check off.
But hold on, though. We got probably the best tribal of the season. We got the biggest blind side. First advantage played in the game. I'm pretty sure, like at tribal.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you had probably the best mic drop of the season up until this point. I don't know what happens for the rest, but I mean, we're checking some boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was entertaining. It was a great experience.
All right. Now, after being on the show, is there any kind of like feedback you'd give to Chris to just like kind of take the show to the next level? Something that would help out on the production side?
I have heard from some people who are enjoying this, like the quality of the cameras are bar none. And I've tried to watch a few other live reality games and Survivor, and they're not as well produced as this. So it's great. The one thing that I have heard from a few people is that it's hard to hear from everyone. Now I don't know how the logistics are in getting everyone on mic, but that might be something, or maybe more captions. But what I usually tell people is when I watch on my phone with earphones on, it's a lot easier to hear than on TV.
Yeah.
And also putting on the closed captions on YouTube, they do a pretty decent job when there isn't already a closed caption. So if anyone is experiencing that, I recommend for the remainder to look or watch on your phone. But that's something that I have heard from feedback wise. I know like some people, there's a lot of this could go back and forth. I think it's cool that there's people that know each other in the game that other people don't know about.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool if there's ever one that there's no one that knows anyone on the season. I don't know how.
Supposedly season 3. What we've been told, season 3, nobody knows anybody.
There was like a 70-some applicants.
76.
Like,
Canada.
Is that the final number?
Canada. Yeah, we're talking
that's
about.
right. That is right.
So,
hey,
but I think it's cool either way. Honestly, I think it's cool trying to figure out who knows who, and also, I mean, those are some of the best seasons of Survivor when people come back. They already know each other, but there's also great seasons when no one knows each other. So it's just a different type of game as well.
Yeah. Now I will say, let's think of some sound companies here. Rode. Anybody that's got a bunch of mics out there, maybe we could make a nice sponsor donation to the show so we can get everybody mic'd up. That's a lot of microphones. I will say that. I'm sure Chris is a little little
16 mics. We'll boot it up.
16 mics, no big deal. Yeah, that's definitely something that would be awesome. But I feel like the budget might not be there yet. We gotta get some more subscribers on the YouTube.
It's been great just having the. Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. Speaking of which, if you're watching this, please go subscribe to Delco Survivor Delco. Just type it in the bar at the top. Give us a sub, and we hopefully Chris can expand. Maybe get 16 mics for season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Nailed it.
Love it.
Go ahead, Mike. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. And then it will get picked up by CBS hopefully. No, but all I'm saying is we've been waiting for so long for this to come out after it's been filmed, and we've had a group chat since we filmed this, and it's been talked in all the time, and it's definitely lived up to the expectation, if not more. So just waiting to see how the production came out. It's awesome to watch back.
Yeah,
it's got to probably feel like forever for you who filmed this over a year ago, and like you kind of are living it, and then like as this is coming back out, you're like reliving it. People are probably hitting you up like, "Yo, this is like, what is it?" Like that's awesome.
And a lot of new information.
And I haven't told anyone what I finish, if I win, I don't.
Good.
So I think I only told my brother and my mom, just because they're the two that watch every new season of Survivor that comes out, and they get the game. But my other two sisters, I don't think I mentioned that them or any of my other family or friends. They're like, "So how'd you do?" I'm like, "You got to watch the show." So I'm curious now. I'm curious now what to see. All my friends, family, co-workers that have been watching, what they have to say after they watch this episode.
They're gonna be talking a lot of shit. I'm gonna tell you that right now. After experiencing what happened to Becca, they're gonna be talking shit.
I can't believe it. I thought you were winning. I was like, hey, it happens.
Now wait, before we started filming this, you had said you brought a little Delco Survivor merch with you. Would you mind showing the camera?
Well, I do have the charm that we had on our torches. So we were given these as keychains. They made them for us. I definitely have a lot of Survivor books that I haven't read all of them yet, but I'll show you a few. The Boston Rob Handbook. Got my Jeff Probst trading card in here to keep track of what page I'm on.
Look at this.
I got some puzzles over here just to get ready in case I do get the call again. So I'm ready. I'm ready.
A big Survivor fan.
Yeah, I mean we got a JP trading card as a bookmark. I mean, we don't get more locked in than that.
That's sick.
I got a signature too. I bought a book by him and he signed it. So the Forged by Fire.
Oh, this came out like a year ago. I saw that.
Yeah. What is it? Jeff Probst.
That's sick. Are you gonna go to the they're having an event at the gigantic
American
mall
Dream
in North Jersey, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to make it. My friend's getting married that weekend, but I think he would understand if I had to go to that instead.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Trying to win $1 million here.
Right. No, that sounds fun. I know a lot of the people on season 2 are looking to go, so I don't know if I'll be able to swing it, but hopefully there's some more events in the future that we can all participate in, whether it's Survivor related or not.
That's awesome.
That would be sick. Oh, dude, a nice little like party bus with all the Delco Survivor peeps going up there.
Probably just anywhere. You just do a party bus to like Barnes. Why you got to go all the way out there?
Yeah.
Maybe Chris gets a party bus to go to camp next season.
Oh my God. The budget just keeps getting bigger. Hopefully,
it keeps blowing up. Sorry about it.
Well, yeah, we have an Eagles tailgate, and I know a few of the season 2 folks have been down. So hopefully we get another run with that. And if you need a party bus, we have our Eagles bus that you could use for another season.
There you go.
There we
Chris,
go.
Yeah, you better watch. He's gonna text you, bro. You better watch.
And he watches these.
We're right down the street.
Okay.
Well, my family is at least.
Okay.
Mr. Mike, we appreciate you jumping on the show today.
Yeah, it was great talking to you. Had a blast. Sorry to see you get blindsided like that, but there's only one thing left to say.
Delco has spoken.